بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد. In one hadith narrated by Abu Umama al-Bahili radiyallahu anhu, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, ثلاثة كلهم ضامن على الله. There are three people, each one of whom is under the guarantee of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is under Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's guarantee. Do you know the difference between a guarantee and a warranty? A warranty is usually only given on a product for a certain period of time. It could be up to lifetime of that product. So that's a warranty. If something goes wrong, the manufacturer will take responsibility and will fix it. Sometimes it includes parts and labor. Sometimes it includes only parts, and sometimes it includes only labor. But it only applies to the product. A warranty is something that applies, that covers the part, the product, the person, and the satisfaction as well. So if something is warranted by a manufacturer or by a person, that has different connotation. And if something is guaranteed by a seller, by a manufacturer, that has a different connotation. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives guarantee for three people, which means He gives them guarantee of their satisfaction. The first person is the one who goes out in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Man kharaja ghaziyan fi sabilillahi. So one who goes out in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to fight in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he's under the guarantee of Allah. And one of two things he will get instantly. If he dies in the battle, he will go straight to Jannah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes the guarantee that I will admit him into Jannah. فَيُدْخِلَهُ الْجَنَّةِ. And if he comes back either after victory or without a victory, he will get one of two things or both things with that as well. Either if he comes after the victory, then he will return with the booty, with the spoils of war, ghanima, and with the reward that he earned from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But if he doesn't return after a victory, let's say it was called off or he lost, their side lost, he will still return with the reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Number two, a person who comes to the masjid. وَرَجُلٌ رَاحَ إِلَى الْمَسْجِدِ. A person who comes to the masjid from his home, from his office, or anywhere, he comes to the masjid. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guarantees that person two things as well. If he goes back home, he will go back with the reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and with the promise of Jannah. And if he somehow doesn't go back, something happens. As we know, the end of life is only known to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The beginning of life is also only known to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but end of life is something that we experience. It's only known to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if someone doesn't go back home on the way they return to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it is a promise of Allah that He will admit him into Jannatul Firdaus. The third person, وَرَجُلٌ دَخَلَ بَيْتَهُ بِسَلَامٍ. A person who enters his home with salam, with the greeting, Assalamu alaikum. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives him the promise of reward and the promise of Jannah at the end. In another hadith, the Prophet ﷺ said these words for these three people, إِنْ عَاشَ رُزِقَ وَكُفِيَ وَإِنْ مَاتَ أَدْخَلَهُ الْجَنَّةِ. If these three people who are guaranteed by Allah, if they live, Allah will make sure they are sustained, they're given their sustenance, and it is sufficient for them. Ruziqa wa kufiya. Their sustenance is provided to them and it is sufficient for them. And if they die, it is the promise of Allah that Allah will admit them into Jannah. So out of these three people, we can certainly be the two people. We can't be the one who goes out to fight in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But we can be the other two. We can be the one who comes to the masjid to pray. That's one. And we get the promise of Allah, the guarantee of Allah. And when we go back home, we say Assalamu alaikum. Now when you go home and there are people inside your home, your wife is there, your children are there, your parents are there, so you enter with Assalamu alaikum. At minimum you say Assalamu alaikum, and at best you say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. But even if there's no one at home, you still enter with salam. And if there's no one home, you say Assalamu alayna wa ala ibadillahi salihin. Peace be upon us and upon the righteous servants of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, this happens to me sometimes. You are on the phone or something like that, and you open the door and you enter the house. Now, you can't say it loud. Preferably, you should say it loud. When you enter your home, you should say it loud. Assalamu alayna wa ala ibadillahi salihin. If there's no one at home. And if there are family members at home, then you say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. But if for some reason you can't, you are on a call or something like that and you enter home, at least say it in your heart or say it on your tongue without any loud voice. So you still enter with salam. So you still earn that reward and you still come under the guarantee of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. On Tuesday, after tafsir, we were talking about the unknown. We were talking about how Yajuj Majuj are there, but we don't know. And Dajjal is there, but we don't know the location. Today we heard in news, Japan, which is an advanced country, and it has a technology that probably America doesn't have either. It has one of the best technologies. Today we found out in news, Japan didn't know it had 7,000 islands. It found out today it has 7,000 islands that it didn't know. So 7,000 is a big number. It's not 7 islands or 700 islands, 7,000 islands. They didn't know they had them, but they found out today. So we don't know. We still don't know the earth. We can map it. We can take pictures. We have satellites going all over, all around at the same time. We have the space station going all around the orbit of the earth. But we don't know everything, because the one who knows everything is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone. So even if something is in plain sight, we won't know if Allah doesn't want us to know. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillah.